Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is May 27th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see we got a ridge here across much of the west coast. You can also see our low pressure center here. These are not very detectable other than looking at the mid-level water vapor loop or showing up on the infrared satellite imagery a little bit here. But this is going to set up shop here off Southern California, and it's also, this ridge is going to get established pretty well as we go through the end of the week. We're really going to warm up for a couple of days here before we return to some more seasonable temperatures, and we'll look at the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning, looking at lightning activity here across the central Sierra Nevada yesterday. So this is the last 24 hours. You can see northeast Nevada and the rest of the state of California was not dealing with thunderstorms, or Arizona for that matter. And if you want your own affordable home weather station that does lightning detection system and everything else with it, very affordable weather station, click on the link down below to save 10% off. Highly recommended. So looking at things right now, you can see the snow-capped Sierra Nevada. There's Mount Shasta. You can see the hit and miss marine layer there into some of the valleys, the Bay Area, but Northern California largely mostly clear, but a pretty well established marine layer in towards Southern California this morning. So let's scroll backwards here. And we're going to take a look at that thunderstorm activity. You can see it pop off during the day there, east slopes of the Sierra Nevada, right along the border, mostly into California. And you'll see those rapidly died off as soon as the sun set. Now we're scrolling back through this morning, and you can see there are not many clouds going on right now. We'll take a look at what is to develop here across the higher terrain over the next couple of days. And if you want to help support the channel, go to the Patreon page and check things out there. It's a good way to get updates on when I release my daily videos also. And you don't have to pay anything. It's all free if you want. If you want to help and support the channel, you can do so with that as well. So anyway, taking a look at today, this is day one, and you can see again that thunderstorm threat there for the Sierra Nevada called attention to there by the Storm Prediction Center. So nice to see that. Let me update that. This should be day two. There goes day two. And again, the Sierra Nevada under the gun there, and some of maybe, the Siskiyous, Oregon, California border there, some of the higher terrain of California yet again. And then we go to day three and we kick that off for a little bit here. But we may have some more thunderstorm activity returning here through the extended forecast. More on that here in a moment. But right now, one of the big stories is, of course, the dangerous heat coming up here Friday through Saturday night here. And we've got some very warm temperatures. Look at that Valley Delta foothills and northern coastal range. Highs 99 to 109 degrees here. Of course, you go to the immediate coastline, you're going to get some relief here. But you see Redding, Chico, Sacramento, Fairfield, Stockton, Modesto, all included in that. You guys know what to do to beat the heat. You don't need me to tell you. And then Hanford National Weather Service down into the San Joaquin Valley. Again, little to no relief at night. Very warm conditions. But the good news is, for people who don't like the excessive heat, that it's just really a 2-day heat wave. And I'll show you the temperatures on that here in a moment. Looking at the Doppler radar over the next 60 hours, I want to call attention to some of that higher terrain precipitation there. And you can kind of see these are drifting off to the north and west a little bit there. So just keep that in the back of your mind in that storm motion if you're out and about across the high country again today. And if we take a look here at, we go through Wednesday afternoon, you kind of see that little close low off there, kicking off some showers over the coastal waters here. Not much of a threat as we go through the day. Wednesday and Thursday, it starts to creep a little bit closer. So remember that down here. I'm going to show you the European on this here in a moment. And also winds, just kind of noting these winds do pick up during the afternoon and the evening hours, but pretty typical wind regime here with the northwest wind down the coastline there. And as we go through the afternoon and evening hours, those pick up across some of the valley interior areas there and some of the higher terrain desert areas that get a bit blustery and breezy. Now, if we take a look here at the European, not the artificial intelligence, but this is last night's run. This is 500 millibars or 18,000 feet. And can I see that ridge there? There's that closed low off the coastline we saw in the mid-level water vapor loop. You see that Gulf of Alaska trough in there, swings the system through the Pacific Northwest. But what that is going to do is retreat a bit here and really allow this ridge to get established. That's what's going to start to warm us up as we go through Friday. And you also see that closed low right off of the California, Baja down there, the peninsula, and that could kick off some thunderstorm activity across some of Southern California and some of the desert areas. So there we go through Friday. You see the ridge well established there across a lot of the west coast of North America, and then we start to scroll off in towards the following weekend there, and we start to bring another trough. You can kind of see this trough extending a little bit further south. That's probably going to help eventually start to kick this closed low out across the Intermountain West, and you see that big ridge established across the Pacific Ocean, allowing that trough to set up. So if we take a look at the European model, wide view of things here, so we scroll through here, and this is today's thunderstorm activity across the higher terrain. We scroll on in through Wednesday, maybe something similar. We go through Thursday, and then that close low starts to get a little bit closer as we go through this weekend. And you can see it try to kick up some precipitation across some of the desert areas. That's going on in through Saturday afternoon. There's Sunday again. Some of the desert areas, yet again, maybe some of the higher terrain of Southern California kicking off some showers there as we go through Sunday afternoon and Sunday evening. So we got to watch out for that because there would be some thunderstorm activity associated with this. And we're starting to get a bit closer in the forecast where we're gaining some confidence in that close low, bringing some precipitation across the area. So total precipitation in inches, we're going to scroll through this fairly rapidly here. You see, we're not dealing with a lot of precipitation in the next 6 days or so, 144 hours out, but you can see we got to watch that because that could be some thunderstorm activity there in some of the desert areas, western Arizona and some of Las Vegas. Some of Nevada getting some thunderstorm action out of this closed low as well. But no big rainfall event. We're not expecting any kind of widespread flooding by any stretch of the imagination. Could be some locally heavier amounts there, but nothing too extreme right now. So looking at daily 2-meter max temperatures, this is Tuesday, May 27th. It is today. You see there is some mid and upper 90s showing up. Bakersfield around 90, Modesto, Fresno, Sacramento right around 90 as well. Southern California looking at the upper 70s once you get away from the water there, maybe into the 80s. We go to Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we really start to ramp up these temperatures. Look at Redding, 107. Sacramento, you're into the hundreds as well. Some pretty warm temperatures, except the immediate coastline there. You see some 90s showing up for the foothills of Southern California as well. The desert areas, some areas, Death Valley, maybe into the 115 plus degree range there also. And there goes Saturday, another very warm day here across the region. But then quickly we start to chop those temperatures back down as we go Sunday and then Monday. Look at that 20-degree differences here between Saturday and Monday. Some areas even more. So yeah, we really bring those temperatures back down to earth there as we go through Monday. There's Tuesday, we cool off even a little bit more. And then there's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then we'll see what's going to happen after that. So if we look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly scrolling through this, you can clearly see as we go off into the Friday, Saturday timeframe, some areas 20, 25 degrees above normal for much of the state of California, except again, the very immediate coastline. If you want to beat the heat, you know where to go. If you want to be in the heat, you go into the interior valley areas, no doubt. And then we start to bring those temperatures back down a bit here as we go through the extended. So 6 to 10 day, this is after the big heat wave here. So just kind of driving on that point, near normal temperatures kind of showing up there. And there's the above average signal here with this trough dropping down across the Intermountain West as we go through the first portion of June. There's the 8 to 14 day to make sure that is updated. It is. Look at that below normal signal there, actually. We'll see about that. I'm not too convinced of that just yet. But then the above average signal for precipitation also June 3rd through 9th. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good day. Otherwise, click like and subscribe. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.